My dear students, in the previous class, we discussed about the literary sources of history. I hope you have understood the topic. Today, let us learn second type of sources, archaeological sources. The word archaeology is derived from the Greek word archaeos, which means the scientific study of ancient people and past civilization. Here, the study is mainly based on the ancient things used by the people of the past. Therefore, archaeology means the study of the ancient things. Archaeological sources are available not only on the surface of the earth but also hidden deep in the depths of the earth. Archaeological sources are divided into four groups such as inscriptions, coins, monuments, other ruins. Regarding inscriptions, inscriptions mean engraved writing. Inscriptions are written on stone, rock, metal, ivory, terracotta and other materials that last longer. Inscriptions are more reliable as these have a direct relationship with the past events. For example, in India, there was an empire called Mauryan Empire. Ashoka was the popular king of the Mauryan dynasty. After the Kalinga War, he embraced Buddhism. To propagate the Buddhist principles, he engraved them on the stone pillars. The first known inscription by Ashoka was the Kandhara bilingual rock inscription. This inscription gives many information about the rule of Ashoka. The official language of the Mauryan Empire was Prakrit. Most of Ashoka's inscriptions are Brahmi script. Samudragupta's Allahabad pillar inscription engraved in Sanskrit language. The Allahabad pillars inscription throws light on the administration of Samudragupta of Gupta dynasty. The Aihole inscription throws light on the military expeditions of Immadi Pulakeshi. It mentions about the victory of Pulakeshi II over Harshavardhana of Thaneshwar. Thousands of inscriptions are found in Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Sanskrit and Prakrit languages. Now regarding coins. A coin is a small, flat, round piece of metal or plastic used primarily as a medium of exchange or legal tender. They are standardized in weight and produced in large quantities at a mint in order to facilitate trade. They are most often issued by a government. The coins are small in shape. They contain many important aspects. They are helpful in understanding the geographical extent of the ruler's kingdom who minted the coins. Coins also aid us in knowing the language of administration, titles that the king possessed, their religion, economic, conditions of the times and metal technology in the view of the particular kingdoms. The Gupta monarchs were famous for their gold coins. They also issued silver coins. The Gupta gold coins is known as dinars. Samudragupta had minted 7 different types of gold coins. Based on those coins, it is said that Samudragupta was lover of music and he had conducted Ashwamedha Yaga too. Coinage of Gautamiputra Shatakarani with Brahmi script. Legend: King Lord Satakarani, son of Gautami. The decorative designs are the 3-arched hill and the Ujjain symbol. These coins were overstuck on silver coins. Nahapana. This supports the view that Gautamiputra Shatakarani had defeated Nahapana. Roman coins found in India are of gold, silver and copper, mostly between 2nd century BC and 6th to 7th century AD. A majority of Roman coins found in India occur as buried underground in earthenware pots. Dear students, let us learn about monuments. A monument is a type of structure that was explicitly created to commemorate a person or event or which has become relevant to a social group as a part of their remembrance of historic time or cultural heritage. Due to its artistic, historical, political, technical and architectural importance. Monuments are the major sources to write history. For example, palaces, temples, forts and pillars, etc. For example, Gol Gumbaz of Bijapur, built by Adil Shah, are the evidences of the maturity of the science and technical knowledge. The cave pictures, engraving of Elephanta, Ellora and Ajanta narrate the mastery over painting sculpture during the Rashtrakutas period. Madrasas built by Muhammad Gawan from Bahmani kingdom in Bidar narrate the importance given to education during those times. The fort of Srirangapatna, built by Timmanna Nayaka, a chieftain under Davanagere Saluva Narasimha, in 1454 explains accomplishments in the area of defense technology. Thus, the monuments throw light on then contemporary religious aspects, technology, economic growth, scientific knowledge and creativity achieved. Now, regarding other ruins. The remains of the various pieces of terracotta, bangles, beads and seal procured during the examination. One can understand the socio-cultural, economic, political and religious life of then people. One can also understand the food habits and pattern of ancient times. Let us learn carbon 14. Radiocarbon dating is a method for determining the age of an object containing organic radiocarbon, a radioactive isotope of carbon. By applying carbon 14 dating procedure on the biological ruins found in these sites, one can arrive at the accurate period of the ruins. Now let's take a homework. Answer the following questions. Explain the importance of coins in the writing of history. Second one, by what method the age of biological fossils can be decided? I hope you understood this class. Thank you, dear students. We'll start new lesson from the next class.